What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the Scarlet Violet last set, Black Bolt, and White Flare. But before we get into it, remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're giving away a Destin Rivals booster box to one lucky winner once we hit 2,000 subscribers. That will be given away to a random comment in one of the videos that I've created this year. So stay tuned for that. But let's get right into it. I think this is the end of an era. Um, Whether that's a good or bad era, I don't really know. Um, I think Pokemon is hyping down a little bit, in my opinion. So I think there's a lot of things to take into consideration when buying and collecting and holding cards, because I feel like sometimes when you get to that first new base set, it usually doesn't turn out too well. Why is that? I don't know. It's happened, I believe, for the last couple base sets, but they usually don't end up turning out strong. But Black and White has been out for today's the 21st. It's been out for a couple days now. So I just wanted to take out look at some of the sales of the ETBs and some of the Black White rares and the top illustration rare for each box. So we have the ETBs for Black Bolt and the Pokemon Center, non-Pokemon Center, and it's not surprising that they're going down. Um, that's kind of always how it's been. Um, you know, where I don't think we're in the era anymore, unless it's a hype set, that is. But 99% of the time, after a set comes out, the prices tank immediately. Same thing with all the cards. Like these sales aren't surprising. I mean, $90 is a good buy in my opinion. Personally, do I think the regular ETBs are gonna go down? Most likely. I mean, it's been a couple of days, and as you can see, you know, even during pre-orders, the hype was dying down, which is something we kind of didn't see during Destin Rivals. So with this set coming out, like we're seeing, even the Pokemon Center boxes are tanking too. So I think we can still see a decent drop. Like I like the regular ETBs for the Black Bolts. We'll probably see a drop. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to 80 flat. 70, like if we got down to 75, that'd be more surprising. The Pokemon Center boxes probably go down a little bit more too as time goes on. Um, I think when you have a set that's not as hyped and you also have a set full or Pokemon full of scalpers, people are just trying to get rid of boxes. Same thing, like I remember looking on Facebook and like so many scalpers were trying to dump their, I don't want to say dump their load, but they were just trying to get rid of all their the ETBs as quick as possible because they know that the prices are going to drop. And that was on Friday all weekend, honestly, because the quick profit is not turning into as much of a profit as like the ETBs were for Destin Rivals, and I think that kind of gives you an idea of like where Pokemon's at right now. I mean, and this I think this has some solid cards. Yeah, I think some of I really like the black white rares. I just think those are pretty cool. So I think it's a solid. Honestly, I think that the cards are better in terms of art than Destin Rivals, but that's just my opinion. But overall, I think we can definitely see these drop even more. I'll probably revisit this and like I'll probably wait 30 days to see where we're at again. I'm not gonna buy right now, but I'm definitely gonna wait a little bit. Um, because if it does start going back up, it'll probably be slow. So that'd be a good indicator to start buying again. But I think, a good rule of thumb is to kind of wait 2 weeks after launch. Once the prices start dying down a little bit, and then getting into it. So we got the Zekrom Black White Rare, and there hasn't been a lot of sales with it. It's only, I mean, I remember I think the first day I didn't see any sales, which was kind of surprising. But right now we're only at 12 total sales for this, and it's gonna go down like 400. There's no way it's gonna stick to that. As more people rip, as more people open, um, we're going to see a probably pretty steep decline. I'll be surprised if it's in the 200s. That seems more reasonable. So again, not something. I mean, I don't really buy singles like that unless I really find it interesting. So like a promo or something older. But I usually just more go for sealed. But yeah, there's no way this is sitting at 400 in the long term. So we got the special illustration rare, and I was on TCG. The sales weren't loading for some reason, the stats. So I just pulled this is the total sales, and this is like a perfect example of like just wait. Like one person bought 400, and then immediately the same day it's already at 300. Now we're already at 275, so we can probably see this sit probably in the 190 in the around like the mid 150s, I would say. But definitely as time goes on, it's just gonna drop. Also, just don't buy it, please. Please don't buy it. Um, the Victini again, it's spiked back up, and I mean, but it only has 6 sales. It, it's I think it's a cool card. I like the whole one color concept. I think that's pretty dope. But I think also it just released, and I think this also got a lot of hype from the Japanese promo. So I and we'll get into it, but it's also in white flare. So it's just like it's kind of weird that you have 171s and 172, and but I mean that's besides the point. But there's no way this is going to be sitting at this price. It'll go down unless like one either 171 or 172, maybe one has less pool rates. I don't know, but we can definitely see this price going down. There's no reason to sit on it. Definitely something that will drop over time. And this is one of the ones I was going to buy too. Before I did research, was the special promo Japanese one. They really made it. Obviously the rumor came out there was only 2,000, but that was never true. And they're actually still releasing them, I believe, until the end of August, maybe even September. Um, so you also got to take that in consideration. In my opinion, this I would probably buy the Japanese promo over this because it's a promo. Basically the same card, but this obviously you have more quantity of this, so the price I believe will go down. So it's definitely a a not buy for now. I just don't understand like those 6 people. Like why people buy it. Like the FOMO of some of these cards is insane in my opinion because it's not one of those things where you'll make money off of it. Like you're not gonna buy this card that's gonna shoot up. That's gonna be very rare. I know some people think that's normal, depending on when you've coming into the Pokemon or Magic or any other card environment, but this will definitely go down. Um, so just stay away from it. So now we're at the White Flare. The Pokemon Center ones are sitting a little lower um, than the Black Bolt, but and I think that also gives a good indication of kind of where the Black Bolt might sit too, because this is you're sitting these at 149. You know, Black Bolt's at like 160, so you could definitely probably see that dropping a little bit too to probably around this price. So that's why I'm thinking like Black Bolt will probably sit around the same area of 149. Um, may even go lower to like the 120s, I would think. And same thing with the regular ETBs. Like they're steadily declining. Um, and until you start seeing like the shift, you're really not going to you're really not going to want to buy in. Because if you're seeing that every sale is a little bit lower, especially with the regular ETBs, you're like, oh, they're selling for 92, they're selling for 91.50, they're selling for 91. Like there's going to be a slow decline, but there's going to be a little shift in the especially these charts. So like this one, you can see it just steady decline, but there's going to be a little momentum at some point. But as of right now, you know don't buy these. Just wait. There's no need to buy these. They're going to drop. Um, I think it's just the lack of hype for this set. Um, and the more the hype of the Mega Evolutions that we're getting in the next set. So White Flare and Black Bolt are kind of just like the stepchild, that in between set that no one's really messing with, and I think that's causing these not so good prices. So I think we're going to see a pretty steady decline, and I also think a lot of people in Pokemon are getting into Magic the Gathering specifically for the sets of Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, and Avatar: Last Airbender. So it's kind of, I think, getting people out of this because the hype is dying down, and getting people into Magic until the next hype set comes out. So depending if Mega Evolutions is that case, then you know I can see this definitely dropping down. Same thing to like regular ETBs, the 80s, and the Pokemon Center is probably like 120s. You know, I think this is a really cool art. I don't know. I think this blows anything out of the water. Like I know it's essentially a reprint, but I still think this is pretty much any better than any card in Destined Rivals. You know, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like it just I like the one color thing. I think it's pretty slick. Um, but as you can see here, I mean, same thing as Zekrom. Not many sales. Just came out. Um, I think that's an indie. I don't know the pool rates yet. I don't think a lot of people do, but that's going to be one of two things: people aren't cracking it as much, or these are just really hard to pull. But I do think the four something, the uh, 460, 475, whatever the price range you would put it at, is going to drop. You know, I can see these sitting around the 200s. Is kind of what I'm thinking, especially as time goes on. Like we'll come back here in 30 days and see where the market's at for these cards. Because at that point, the set, everything will kind of, the sales will, people will get rid of their inventory, start thinking about the next set. We'll start getting more details about the next set. Um, so we'll kind of have a better idea of what we're sitting at for these prices. But yeah, at this price, we're definitely going to wait. You're not going to buy. Way overpriced. Um, I think a lot of people buy these cards to get them graded in hopes of making a quick profit because obviously, let's say this is right now. Let's say it's selling for, I get it for 450 on eBay. You get this back at PSA 10. You're probably, I haven't looked. I don't think there's any yet. You're probably looking at a 100% increase in your profit. I'm thinking easy $1,000. You're selling that card for. So I think that's kind of also why you see like there's only 5 sales. I wouldn't be surprised there's 5 sales or actually people trying to do a flip of getting it graded and getting a PSA 10. But it's risky because if you don't get a PSA 10, it's a PSA 9. Um, you're then probably not making that much money at all. Slash might not even be worth it. But we'll know more once we see more of the graded cards come in. So now we have the top illustration rare of the set. Again, this is tanking. But again, that's not a surprise. I don't think it's anything negative. It's sitting at 195. That's the low price. Um, I think we definitely will see. Well, that's not a true low price. They do that plus the shipping. But 228 is the market. The most recent sale is 197. Um, I think all in all, we'll probably see this sitting around the 150s as well. Just give it a little bit of time. Um, I just don't think there's that much hype around it. Like I said, like this set is it's just not as sought after as probably the previous set or the next set coming out. So I think people are holding off for that. And then we have Victini, the 172. Again, I don't get the whole. I think more people might get it for collectability of having both, and then having them both PSA 10s. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But again, I just don't think the 400 is viable, and I do think with this and the Japanese promo, the price just won't be sitting at that for very long. I think it will come down. And then I wanted to talk about this because I saw this and I thought it was interesting because I browse TCG Player like every day, and usually when you click a set like Pokemon, Magic, One Piece, they usually preview the the next set. So for example, like Black Bolt and White Flare should be up there, even though this is before the release. Usually they have it right there for pre-order, or for example, where they have Destined Rivals, they'll have a pre-sale, so you can click it and buy. And I thought it was weird because I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is 7/17. Black Bolt and White Flare come out tomorrow. Why is there not even a pre-sale? Like for example, like I know Destined Rivals was up very early. Final Fantasy for Magic the Gathering was up very early. If you go to Magic the Gathering, Edge of Eternities, which comes out the 1st of August, that's been out. That's been on the screen. Which so this just makes no sense to me. Why the day before there's nothing there, even though for most sets they'll have it up way beforehand. I thought that was very strange. Um, I don't know why they did that. Maybe I'm missing something, but I felt like every set that I've seen, they always have it up before it's out. But for this set, they decided to wait until release date to actually put it up. It definitely gives some sort of, I'm gonna say, market manipulation, but it's a bit it's odd, and it's just something I noticed, and I just feel like it's something I want to talk about because going forward, I don't think we'll see that. I don't think we'll see that for the next Mega Evolution set. So I don't know if they felt sales were not going to be as good. So that's why, or they saw sales were going down and prices were like kind of plummeting before the set was even out. So that's why they didn't put it for pre-order because they thought it would drop even more. I don't know. I just it was an odd thing that I noticed, and it's definitely even odder given what set this is. It's not like a hype set. It's in my opinion, it's definitely one of the least hype sets in a little bit. Even though I didn't like Journey Together, but I thought that was just hyped off of Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, and like it was in between Death and Rival, so it got some love. But this set doesn't seem to be getting that, and you know, I don't know. It's just something that caught my attention. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think at the end of the day, we should not buy this set for now. Obviously, I think it's a great set. Hold off, let the price go down, let everything kind of even out, um, and then come in and buy. But that's all I have to talk about today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to be entered in our giveaway, and I will see you in the next one.